So what do Time Magazine, Zillow, and the Michelin Guide all have in common? Well, they're all seeing the future boom happening right here in the Tampa Bay area. Yet still, a lot of people ask me, hey Adam, is Tampa Bay really worth the hype? Well, after growing up here and helping hundreds of families find their dream homes in the area, I can tell you there's something unbelievable happening here, something that I've never seen before that will make Tampa Bay change forever. And it goes beyond just Tampa. I'm talking about developments reaching over $17 billion and transforming everything from downtown to Clearwater and St. Pete. And in this video, I'm gonna walk you through all the massive changes to our infrastructure, our real estate, transportation, and our culture that will help explain why Tampa Bay is gonna boom in 2025. 5 years ago, I stood in downtown with a client who thought I was crazy for suggesting downtown Tampa as an investment. All we could see was the old Ardent Mills flour mill and vacant lots. Just wait, I told her. That client just sold her downtown condo that was walking distance to Water Street for double her investment. This $3.5 billion project backed by Bill Gates, Cascade Investment, and Jeff Vinnick has transformed empty lots into the JW Marriott, the Edition Hotel, and Sparkman Wharf. Now, last weekend, I was watching a Chicago family's kids play on the Sparkman lawn while boats passed. They said, this is exactly what we've been looking for. Now, phase 2 is going to be even more ambitious, expanding 40% towards Ybor City with a 50-plus story residential tower featuring a curved white Gensler facade that could end up being the tallest residential building on Florida's west coast. The timing, it's perfect. With Tampa's population up 14% since 2020, these 300 luxury condos and 500,000 square feet of Fortune 500 targeted office space can't come soon enough. They're investing $200 million in infrastructure up front, creating vibrant pedestrian plaza people actually use. Phase 1's success speaks for itself with 95% office occupancy. Unlike Miami's $2 million condos or inland Orlando, Water Street offers waterfront luxury at reasonable prices compared to other Florida markets. By 2027, we'll see more than just $8.6 million in annual city taxes. We're getting Tampa's first true urban neighborhood that can start to compete with markets like Austin and Nashville. And it all started with an empty lot and a vision. And if you think Water Street's transformation is big, wait until you see what's happening just a few blocks away in Ybor City. Now, folks, I'm gonna stop you right there. I am a realtor. If you're new to my channel, it's Tampa Florida Living, and I'm Adam Morejon, and my team would love to help you buy or sell real estate anywhere in Tampa. So if you're moving here, you're already here and you need some help, reach out to my team. The info's right there on the screen, and I'll also pin it in the chat. Now, after watching the ups and downs of the cultural heart of Tampa, what's happening in Ybor City now gives me goosebumps. Last year, the Gasworks La Union apartments opened their doors, and this past week, Gasworks just secured a $182 million loan to really get that construction rolling. A client that relocated a few years back said, this doesn't even sound like the Ybor you showed us a few years ago. Between Gasworks and Ybor Harbor, we're seeing 83 acres transform, but all the while, they're preserving the soul of this place. A longtime resident's grandmother told stories of the vibrant 1950s community here. When I showed her plans to incorporate the historic warehouses into the new design, she was glad to hear, and they're trying to honor the past while also building the future. The scale is stunning. $4 billion investment, 12,000 jobs, and a crucial part not to forget, 625 income restricted units. As someone who recently spent 6 months helping a teacher find affordable housing, I know how desperately we need these. Gasworks is gonna bring 5,000 residences. Ybor Harbor adds 4,000 more, plus offices, retail, and potentially a soccer stadium. They're investing $200 million in infrastructure up front, including the expanded Tico streetcar service that'll triple ridership by 2030. The timeline shows Tampa's momentum. Gasworks Phase 2 breaks ground next year. Marketplace opens in 2026. Ybor Harbor towers rise in 2027. Combine this with Water Street, this isn't just development, it's Ybor's renaissance, balancing history with progress. Now, some huge things are happening with our cultural and entertainment area too. But before I tell you about that, let's talk about another huge development. As a USF alum, I remember those early USF games at the Buck Stadium. Sparse crowds, but big dreams. Now, standing at Sycamore Fields, where they've broken ground on a $340 million on-campus stadium, everything's about to change. I remember a past USF football player once said, we used to practice without even goalposts, and now look at these renderings. The stadium anchors a $967 million athletics district, including the Tampa General Hospital Center for Athletic Excellence. We're talking about 35,000 seats, expandable to 50,000, 8,500 solar panels, and an 8,000 seat Bulls section with its own DJ booth. Now, no wonder applications are up 19% since the announcement. Instead of paying $1.8 million annually rent at Raymond James, they'll generate $20.5 million per year in their own home. Now, last month, I'm in the process of helping a family move near USF for college, and their kids couldn't be more pumped about the possible future games nearby. And check out this timeline. Vertical steel this year, Tampa General Athletic Center in 2026, and that electric grand opening against the University of Miami in 2027. With Tampa's population up 14% since 2020, USF is finally transforming from commuter school to collegiate powerhouse. You can feel the energy changing, and locals, they love it. But while USF is changing the game for college sports, I don't want to forget to tell you about our cultural and entertainment happenings. Recently, I visited the Tampa History Museum with my daughter, and I had to smile. Then I had a friend that was talking about the Museum of Art expansion and said the views from the rooftop and the new crystalline pier are going to be amazing. Remember when people said Tampa lacked culture? Those days are gone. The Tampa Museum of Art is leveling up with a $100 million expansion set to make it one of the largest art museums in the Southeast. This project adds 51,000 square feet, basically doubling its size. So what can we expect? New galleries with 20,000 plus square feet for permanent and traveling exhibits, a sculpture terrace with outdoor space and stunning riverfront views, then added an education center with 12,000 square feet for art classes and community programs. This expansion will transform Tampa's cultural scene, tripling annual visitors from 100,000 to over 300,000, according to the Tampa Downtown Partnership. It also boosts local events, art festivals, and tourism, making downtown Tampa even more vibrant. Being located right on the Tampa Riverwalk, the expanded museum strengthens Tampa's appeal as a lifestyle hub. Picture this: brunch at Eulalie, kayaking on the Hillsborough River, and an afternoon of art all in the same day. More culture means an increase in demand. Properties in areas like Harbor Island, Channel District, and Riverside Heights are already seeing rising values. With downtown booming, living near the Riverwalk is more desirable than ever and gives a tremendous boost to the nearby communities. The project will generate $60 million in economic impact and create over 150 new jobs from construction to museum roles, proving this expansion is more than just about art. By May 2025, we'll have the hurricane-rated glass facade, followed by the rooftop bar and sculpture terrace in September. March 26 brings the digital wall debut, and June might have the most exciting news yet. The museum will offer accredited culinary classes. Imagine cooking with world-class chefs surrounded by art and water views. With projections of 1.2 million annual visitors, generating $23 million in economic activity, we're not just building a museum, we're creating a cultural hub where art, innovation, and community converge. That's the Tampa we get excited about. But while the Museum of Art is transforming our cultural scene, there's another project right down the way that's going to enhance our performing arts and give us even more entertainment in Tampa. Last month, I rented an e-boat at sunset with the family, and we rode past the Straz Center, and my daughter said, "Dad, what's happening here?" She loves the Straz, as I've taken her to a few Broadway-style shows, and her eyes lit up when I told her we're making it even better. The Straz Center for the Performing Arts is a large part of Tampa's art and culture. It's getting a $100 million expansion, transforming the middle grounds of the Riverwalk into a hub for arts and entertainment. This major upgrade adds new spaces and modernizes the existing complex, ensuring it remains a premier destination for live performances. Coming in 2025, the expansion includes a cutting-edge 300-seat theater for smaller shows and local productions, a vibrant outdoor plaza with waterfront dining and live performances, and an upgraded facilities with new rehearsal studios and modernized lobbies to enhance the visitor experience. This project isn't just about the arts. It's about impact. According to the Tampa Downtown Partnership, annual attendance is expected to jump from 600,000 to over 800,000, driving more tourism and supporting local businesses. Plus, its prime location on the Tampa Riverwalk makes it a perfect centerpiece for a night out. Imagine dinner by the water, a Broadway show, and a sunset stroll all in the same evening. And I just mentioned the ripple effect to the surrounding communities, and we are blocks away from the other museum, and I'm saying it again. Things are gonna boom in 2025. With all these new additions and upgrades, I can confidently say Tampa is a true life playground for residents, offering tons of things to do, but sometimes it's just great to get away for a change of scenery. And with the Tampa airport growing yet again, we might have even more options in our future. If you have ever flown international from Tampa, you know about having to take Atlanta or Miami connections. Well, that could change with Tampa International's $1.5 billion transformation. It will offer more direct flights, including places like Vancouver, Europe, and Austin, Texas. I was recently researching the airside D details, and it's cool to see that 1971 terminal being torn down and replaced. The new terminal will have 600,000 square feet with 16 new gates handling 35 million passengers annually by 2037. And news just broke in February that Delta signed on as the anchor tenant with 6 dedicated gates and an 18,000 square foot Sky Club. A frequent flyer client saw the renderings and said, "Man, this is going to be better than Atlanta." I'm a little biased and think our airport already is top notch. But the timeline tells Tampa's story. Vertical steel this year, automated baggage testing in 26, and international travel in 2028. 3 European families I helped last month chose Tampa specifically because of the easy access to the airport and couldn't be more excited about new routes to places like Amsterdam, London, Frankfurt, and Zurich. This $11.9 billion economic impact project isn't just about convenience. It's about Tampa stepping onto the global stage. No more connections, no more detours, just Tampa taking flight. But while the airport is connecting Tampa to the world, let's talk about how we can connect the different areas around Tampa, making local travel a little bit easier on residents. As someone who's constantly driving clients around Tampa Bay, I can tell you, transportation is one of our biggest challenges as our city has recently blossomed, but change is coming. Last week, I encouraged a family visiting to tour Ybor City via Tico streetcar. They were staying in a downtown hotel and they didn't rent a car, and they loved that they could explore a bit with ease. The new modernizations will add roughly 1.3 miles and multiple new stops connecting the current route to Tampa Heights and Armature Works, while also upgrading the current streetcar to a more modern version able to carry more passengers. Now, if we can only get the Brightline train connecting us to Orlando and Miami, we could go from downtown to Miami without the need of a car. And that plan is not out of the question in the coming years. Getting in and out of the city is getting tougher, and in 2025, the city decided to offer the most popular Heartline bus route 1 free to riders, saving them upwards of around $80 monthly, helping those in specific areas that need it the most. No question, our bridges and major roads have always been an area of concern during rush hour, and in 2025, we will debut the new Howard Franklin that expands to 8 lanes, I-275 adding new lanes, and a new pilot program offering 4,000 new scooters and e-bikes. We're finally moving beyond cars. Yes, there's a $57 million streetcar funding gap, and Hart's $18 million deficit affects minority neighborhoods, but the progress is undeniable. This year brings the Howard Franklin traffic shift and West Shore interchange construction. By 2026, we'll have the streetcar expansion and Brightline station, followed by the downtown interchange completion in 2027. The West Shore project alone projects $11.9 billion economic impact, but what matters the most? How it changes lives. Last month, a family chose a home they'd previously ruled out as too far because new transit will connect everything, and they can see that. By 2035, imagine streetcar dinners in Ybor, quick trains to Orlando, and safe bike commutes downtown. That's a Tampa Bay we're trying to build. I believe we will see all this connect to the airport, a light rail getting us over the bridges, and next up will be transit to and from our suburbs and the outer areas. And since I mentioned the possibility of new transit across the bridge, let's hop across the pond because St. Pete, it's undergoing massive changes too. But I'm curious though, what do you think so far? Drop a comment below and let me know if you're as excited as I am for all this change or not. I still want to hear from you because at the end of it all, I'm always rooting for a better Tampa Bay. Now coming to St. Pete, there is a redevelopment project that will be the largest mixed-use development project in Tampa Bay history. We are talking about the historic gas plant district costing $6.5 billion, even if the Rays don't end up playing in the new stadium. And this isn't just another development, it's bridging the gap for St. Pete and is a story of healing and the future. The numbers tell a powerful story: $11.9 billion in economic output, $1 billion plus in property taxes, and 1,200 affordable housing units. This also includes a $50 million commitment to intentional equity initiatives and partnerships with South St. Petersburg, including affordable housing funding, employment and business support, education programs, and minority women-owned business enterprises hiring goals. This investment will provide opportunities and build capacity locally. And the overall vision, it's stunning. Imagine walking from your apartment through a 14-acre central park, along restored Brooker Creek to catch a baseball game. MLB's first LEED Gold certified ballpark anchors 4,800 residential units, 600 senior housing spaces, and vibrant retail. Even Hurricane Milton's $55.7 million damage to the Trop roof hasn't slowed our progress. The timeline is ambitious. Stadium groundbreaking this year, first parking structure by 26, phase 1 development and a new stadium in 28, and 300 affordable units by 2030. A longtime St. Pete resident once told me, back then, we gained a team, but we lost a community. Now, with this project, we are hoping to secure baseball through 2054 while restoring cultural heritage. We're finally getting both. That's development that transforms a city, not just builds it. And developments like this always touch surrounding areas. So let's head to downtown to check out the new residential developments that will change that area. Now, when I first started selling real estate in St. Pete, nothing downtown reached 400 feet. Last week, I took a client to see the progress at 400 Central, and we were talking about how amazing the 46th floor Sky Lounge would be. At 515 feet, now Florida's Gulf Coast tallest building, the views will be some of the best in the area. While that might be daunting to some, clients from other areas feel Tampa and St. Pete are preferable in comparison. Choosing between Miami and here, they were sold by 400 Central's amenities, and the math, twice the space for the same price. And it's not the only option. The shift is real. At Art House, I met a buyer who declared this is her forever home. Unlike past years, currently 60% of buyers are planning full-time residences compared to just 40% or lower just a few years ago. We're no longer just a vacation spot. And the data tells a story. Downtown St. Pete's population has surged 19% since 2020, with incomes jumping 28%. These two towers alone are bringing 1,500 luxury units to market, and no question, the demand for them, it's there. So how do you snatch one of those up? Well, timing is everything. 400 Central's penthouses start at $1.4 million, ready by mid-2025. Art House begins interior build-out for fall 2025 move-ins. And an insider tip, Coulter's breaking ground on the Tempo Hotel in 2026. While St. Pete is reaching for the sky, there's another part of Tampa Bay that's completely reimagining waterfront living. So let's go ahead and head north to see what's happening in Clearwater. When you think about iconic spots in Tampa Bay, Clearwater Marina has been drawing tourists and locals since the mid-1900s, a landmark that's now getting a $43 million complete rebuild. Clearwater's waterfront has always had one of the most beautiful spots for a sunset, and it's about to get a glow up. A veteran charter captain I spoke with has been running fishing trips for over 30 years. Despite project costs doubling, concrete up 40%, aluminum up 25%, he's optimistic. This isn't just an upgrade, he said, it's securing our future. The numbers are impressive too. 58 commercial operators generating $28 million annually from 4,000 daily tourists. Crucially, all 165 slips remain, preserving the vibrant ecosystem of fishing charters and recreational boaters. The game changer? The new Marina Walk, a 1.2-mile promenade connecting directly to Beach Walk. And it's not just about beauty, it's about resilience. Hurricane-rated aluminum decking, increased seawall heights, and electric boat charging stations are transforming the marina. Yes, challenges exist. Businesses face an 18-month displacement, with parking reducing from 405 to 366 spaces. But as one restaurant owner put it, short-term pain for that long-term gain. They're even adding 200 temporary spots on the causeway. And these areas aren't the only ones getting some love. Our suburbs and towns around the Tampa Bay area are getting upgrades also. I've mentioned these before, but places like Trinity is getting an 800-acre sports complex that's 6 times the size of Disney. Wesley Chapel is getting a new downtown and a ton of new development like Johns Hopkins Pediatric Hospital that will bring a ton of jobs to the area. And things don't stop here, but let's go ahead and talk about our economic growth indicators as it helps us understand the true direction of Tampa Bay in 2025. Tampa's transformation goes beyond real estate. We're emerging as both a tech hub and a maritime commerce powerhouse. The Cybertech X Accelerator expansion leads 3,700 plus new tech jobs coming by 2027, while Tampa Bay Wave has already launched 500 plus startups, creating over 5,000 jobs. Meanwhile, Port Tampa Bay's modernization, with expanded cargo capacity and new cruise terminals, is driving nearly $30 billion in annual economic impact. These parallel expansions in tech bringing high-paying jobs and young professionals, and the port strengthening our commercial position are creating unprecedented economic growth, driving demand across all real estate sectors. After showing you all of these incredible projects happening around Tampa Bay, I want to take a moment to put this all into perspective. We're looking at over $11 billion in investments across infrastructure, real estate, transportation, and culture. But what does this really mean for Tampa's future? As someone who's helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes here, I can tell you, this isn't just random growth. Tampa is transforming itself with purpose. We're not just building buildings, we're creating a more sustainable, livable city. We're not just adding jobs, we're diversifying our economy with tech, finance, and maritime commerce. So whether you're thinking about moving here, investing here, or just already calling Tampa Bay home, 2025 is going to be an incredible year. And trust me, what I show you today is just the beginning. If you need more detailed information on any of these areas I talked about today, including figuring out where to live, just reach out. Our info is right there on the screen. We help hundreds of families just like you buy and sell in the Tampa Bay area. Now, before you leave, if you want more awesome videos, check out this playlist. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.